Hey everybody, welcome or welcome back to In Divine Time Tarot. This is Myra. No, this is not a tarot reading. This is going to be an astrology reading. Well, not an astrology reading, but more so just a kind of update for what's happening in the skies and how we can prepare down here. So let's talk really quick about the new moon that's happening in the sign of Virgo this Saturday on August the 23rd and how we can prepare for the new moon, what we need to know, etc., etc. So normally whenever there's a new moon, full moon, I would have the astrology chart behind me and I would explain, what's going on and how we can prepare based on the transits and what we can be prepared for. But I think the last video I have overly complicated it, especially for my folks that are new with astrology or kind of just don't really understand it. And so I decided to come up with a more digestible way to talk about this topic based on themes and just like how we can prepare for it. So you guys let me know how this works for you at the end. Okay, so first and foremost, if you've never seen any of my content, have no idea what a new moon is, I'm going to give you a quick example and then we'll hop into the energy that we need to know about. So a new moon is the time for you to set intention for the things that you want. It's a time for you to plant the seeds to grow the thing that you want to have, right? So for example, let's say you're a farmer and you want to have tomatoes for, I don't know, to make tomato sauce, right? What's the first thing that you would have to do? You would have to plant seeds in the ground. The next action step that you would have to do would be to come up with some type of plan. Then you would have to water. You have to make sure your plant is getting enough sun. And then, as everything goes accordingly, or if everything goes accordingly, then you would have your fruit at the end of that harvest, which would be the new moon, right? So even though there are steps in between, the initial step of planting the seeds would be the intention, right? That would be what happens in the new moon cycle. So you're planting the seeds to get the thing that you want, right? Step one. So let's talk about what that means in context with this new moon in Virgo at 0 degrees, and what we should be paying attention to. So a couple of days ago, I think it was maybe 2 posts ago, I talked about in a tarot reading how Spirit is calling us to have more routine and found groundedness in our routines, right? And that perfectly aligns with this new moon that's happening in the sign of Virgo, because Virgo is all about having a solid routine, having a plan. They like it. They are the organization folks. They need it. This is how they thrive. This is how they survive. And the new moon is no different, right? This new moon happening in Virgo is telling us, hey girls, hey boys, get that daily routine in check. Make sure that you have something that makes you feel grounded, makes you feel good. Routines actually have been shown to help us be more productive, feel more clear-headed, to be more emotionally grounded, because it's something that we do all the time and it becomes almost like a ritual to us, so it feels good, right? It's like if you have a habit of getting up every morning and having that morning coffee and then reading your newspaper, I don't know, whatever it is, checking your social media, right? That's the thing that you do, and it kind of falls into this almost robotic routine. Sometimes it's really good for you, sometimes we need to change it up, but either way, it's a daily habit that we do. Also, declutter your lifestyle. This is the time to do it. Virgo is all about organization, and right now it's no different. So by decluttering, that doesn't just mean go into your kitchen and look into that drawer with God knows what is in it. This means decluttering your lifestyle. So let's say you have some clothes that you have been meaning to give away. If you have been meaning to empty your freakishly large inbox, if your emails are piled up, going through your financial budget. This is also a perfect time if you've been considering doing any type of detox or fast. This is the perfect time to do this because Virgo rules the gut and the intestines. So if you wanted to do a fast and, declutter your body, this is the perfect time to do that and hop into that. Now, as some of you may know, Virgos are all about organization and perfection. Shout out to all my Virgos. But they tend to be perfectionists, and being that they are perfectionists, they work their behinds off, so you have to give them that. But sometimes being a perfectionist can also cause you to be stressed, because you always want things to go your way. And when there is kind of like a snag in plans, you might find it hard to stay grounded. In this specific transit, with this new moon being in Virgo, it is also going to be squaring off with Uranus in the sign of Gemini. So, with that being said, we should expect some maybe slight disruptions. Maybe if you have something planned and something doesn't go the way that you want it. So let's say you have something planned with a group of friends, and then, I don't know, someone gets sick or a car breaks down or whatever the case is. Just remember this reading and remember to be flexible about those plans. So whether that means you guys have to switch your mode of transportation, do a rain check, instead of going out, you just have like a girls' night or a boys' night in. Just be mindful of that and stay flexible. This transit is definitely requiring a little bit of flexibility and not being so tied to everything going as planned, because with this specific square happening with Uranus in Gemini, plans may not always be so perfect. So just be aware of that. And also find ways to stay grounded. So if that means going into nature, which is perfect if you're considering doing any type of like detox or fast, it's very good to have some type of grounding practice. So going to the ocean if you have access to it, going to a lake if you have access to it as well, are great ways to kind of ground yourself. As I mentioned before, and will always say, meditation is a great way to ground yourself, but you can also ground yourself through music if that makes you feel grounded, dancing if that makes you feel grounded, art if that makes you feel grounded. Whatever it is that makes you feel grounded and at peace and serene is something that we kind of want to lean into during this period. And just remember that this period with the new moon being in Virgo, it's all about resetting that energy so that we can have clear intentions and manifest and bring in the things that we want. And we always want to give gratitude for the things that we're trying to bring in. And this kind of, falls into my own personal practices of what I do for new moon. So whenever it's a new moon, I set my intention. But also when I set my intention, I am very much giving gratitude for the thing that I don't physically have right now, right? But I know that it's on its way to me. Okay, everyone, that is it for the reading. I hope that this astrology update was helpful and easily digestible for all of my people that are maybe new to astrology or kind of just like got the tips of their toes in. Please let me know if you like this style more than a style where I have the chart behind me, and I will continue to do it this way if the themes is better and like how we can work with the energy and what we need to know. If you are interested in getting a personal reading to find out what house the moon is going to be in on your personal chart, let me know. Either DM me or you can book directly through my site for a reading, and I can provide you with, like a personal detail on what you should do based on where the moon is transiting through your chart. So whether it's transiting through your first, second, third, fourth, fifth, whatever house, I can tell you what to look out for, as well as any challenges or anything like that based on the aspects in your chart and how it's working with this new moon transit. Other than that, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. Curtsy, curtsy. And you guys enjoy the rest of your day.